welcome back to Kia's King. Today we will be reviewing the season finale of one of, no doubt, will go down as the greatest seasons of Housewives. Season 5, episode 16 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The no filler season is coming to an end, and unlike their counterparts on TV right now, I'm very sad to see this season come to an end. But we get right into it. We open up with Meredith looking just a hot fucking mess. She has an eye mask eye patch, as I'm terming it. Literally has an eye mask doing one of these so one of her eyes is visible because she scratched her cornea in the middle of the night. I don't know what demon has its grips on Meredith, but it is fucking her up on this trip. Between the drama, the accusations, and now the physical ailments, hearing aids and scratched corneas, my god, Mare. But Heather and her meeting for breakfast because Heather is very upset that she got yelled at last night. And Meredith does apologize, but she looked a hot fucking mess doing it. I was like, okay. But we opened with some eye-opening, no pun intended, conversation. We then move on to Heather's bright idea for a Lisa lunch. And I must say, this was kind of, I won't go as far as saying iconic yet, but it was very entertaining. Heather got all of them Lisa wigs and some sunglasses, or maybe they own the sunglasses already. But that was the costume, if you will, and they all lined up as Lisa and let her come out last, and she was living. That's probably her dream literally come true. So there was 8 Lisas, and I love that. I love that. She was living, so they all went to lunch just like Lisa. And that did not obviously end fucking well for, I won't say everyone, but specifically Lisa and Whitney. My god. I noted this later in the episode, but I'll say it fucking now. They are seemingly the closest relationship to actual hate amongst each other. Like, I'm not quite sure if they actually hate each other, but they seem like the closest to it if they don't. Out of all these women and all the drama that's happening, they seem the closest to real hate. And it is obvious, my god. But one of the first activities, if not the only one they managed to get to at lunch, is doing impersonations. And everyone's going okay, everyone's doing their thing until we get to Whitney, who still has a tag on her clothes, seemingly purposely, because Lisa returns her clothes. But they get into a fight, and Lisa loves a lunge. Lisa lunged at Whitney, tried to take the wig off her head. And Whitney was not going for that. She knows how to move. She was ducking and weaving. Lisa's talking pure shit to Whitney. She said her gut is leaky. She needs a probiotic. She's giving her a nice, nasty Utah white woman read. But Lisa, we know, Lisa blacks out. She crashes out. We got a couple crash out queens on this franchise, which I guess makes it so lively. But Lisa is over Whitney, trying to lunge and attack her at this point. And I was just clutching my pearls. Lisa in her rage talks about how she's gonna sue Whitney and take her new house from her. Like, mad. She is plotting on that bitch. She is plotting on a little girl. And so at some point Brittany decides she's going to come to Lisa's defense and try to like really step in for her. And Mary's like, shut up. Like, Mary cuts her off at the pass and gathers her very quickly. And it's like, ho, be quiet. Nobody was talking to you. We don't need your opinion right now. Just zip it. And rightfully so. And what does Brittany do? She zips it. Mary had to remind her that she recorded everybody, and Mary reminded everybody else that once they got a little tipsy, they seemingly forgot, and she did not. And I'm glad she put her in her place. So all of this, of course, leads to Brittany running off, crying, being upset because she can't handle shit. And Angie is the first one to go after Brittany. I literally thought Angie was just being nice because, like, Angie has proven time and time again that one of her redeemable qualities is that no matter how much of a fight she gets into with you, if she sees you upset, she will check on you. She's just a nice person. Mary takes such offense to this and starts being a fucking dickhead. A complete dickhead. Like, just goes so far left with her reaction that it did not make sense. And it reminded people why they, like, hated Mary. I'm not going to go that far with myself and say that it made me hate Mary. in this moment, but I was like, Mary, you're doing way too fucking much. Just way too fucking much. So after lunch, they split off for different excursions. They have horse riding and ceviche. To the horse riding, all I have to say is I don't fuck with horses since Christopher Reeves. Like, I can't do horses. Like, they're big as fuck, and I'm a big human. I don't need anything bigger than me around me like that. Like, that, horses could fucking end. Once again, Christopher Reeves. No thank you. No thank you. And these horses prove what the fuck I'm talking about because they are shitting, farting, and spinning in circles and cluck, cluck, clacking in, doing all this shit. Like, with them on their backs. No. Nope. Nope. Because if a horse starts tweaking on me, I'm going to start, like, fighting it. I wouldn't know what to do. I really wouldn't know what to do. And as Mary said, like, if a horse goes down, you're going down with it. It is hurting you. Not worth it. I'd rather walk the beach. I don't need to trot the beach. No thank you. No thank you. The other women are making ceviche, and that's much more my speed. Much more my speed. And the ceviche gang seems kind of fun. Angie's there, Heather's there, maybe Brittany's there. Maybe Whitney. Brittany and Whitney. But they're having fun. They're chopping shit. Angie sees Greek salad and Greek things and everything that they do. But the horse ladies they're having a time on that beach. Meredith's talking about, I think our horses like match our personalities. Just chaotic messes, if that's the case. But allegedly after being so simpatico with their horses, they get off of those bitches. And they're frolicking in the ocean. And Mary's announcing to the group that she's done with Angie. And my response to that is don't piss me off. Literally, don't piss me the fuck off. Don't piss me off. She's done with Angie because she went after Brittany and she knows how I feel. And that's not loyal. And I like loyalty. Like, Mary, you're being a dickhead. Ooh, she had me tight. But that's how they ended our little excursion scenes. And we move on to dinner. And dinner is the last scene here, but it takes up most of the episode. Because it was wild. It was wild. Everyone gets to dinner. They're settling in. They get their food, their drinks. Angie and Meredith decide to open with some positivity. They're deciding to move on cautiously with the friendship. They're trying to put their guards down and just like have bygones be bygones. And like, kudos to them. Kudos to them. I don't know if I said kudos the first time, honestly. Holding on by a thread. But they are making up and trying to be all sweet. The food gets there, they're trying to offer each other food. Angie's trying to talk to Mary, and Mary is acting like she doesn't have ears all of a sudden, which Angie obviously is going to notice and is like calling her out, like, Mary, why are you being short with me? Like, what's going on? And so Mary gets into like, I don't know if I'm like want to be your friend anymore. I think I'm done with you, blah, 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 blah. Which sparks Angie to cry, and Angie like, I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny, and I definitely cried alongside them, but Angie is such a genuine person to me. Even when she fucking crashes out and freaks out, like, I just feel like she really wears her heart on her sleeve. So she starts crying, and she's like, Mary, I love you. Like, what do you mean? You changed my life. Like, so hallmarks of Lifetime, but it was real. Like, they were, like, real sisters. They were real sisters. To the point that she, like, softens Mary. They're crying, they're holding hands, and they love each other, and it's kumbaya. But it was a real moment, and Mary deserves first fucking couch. Like, I don't know what possessed them to give Lisa Barlow first couch alongside Angie, but they should have had a best friend first couch moment. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care what anybody... Why is Mary not first couch? She's giving us all the real moments. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. But nonetheless, everyone along with me was crying with them. They really felt the moment, and they were happy to see that, like, a real friendship is in this group somewhere, and it was nice to see as well. And then we get into the mud and the bullshit, because Meredith, of course, engages Whitney about their little blogger situation, and is just saying that Whitney essentially never had proof and she was like a liar. And it sounds like that might be the case. Whitney is trying to defend herself, trying to defend that the receipts that she got, nobody really seems to think that they sound like actual receipts, which is unfortunate for Whitney. And everyone's just like, consider your source. Like, and Meredith is trying to say that, like, the same source confirmed that he did not give you proof. So what are you talking? Like, it's just a whole mess of he said, she said about this damn blogger. But Whitney comes back with a little information of her own, claiming that Lisa feeds the blogs and has proof of this via Monica. Dun, dun, dun. Now, Monica is the kryptonite of these women, apparently. I don't get how after Jen Shah they really harp on Monica the way they do. But apparently Monica is like Osama bin Laden of Utah. And so Meredith and Heather are spazzing. Lisa had me dead with one of her lines though. She just looks at Whitney and she goes, "You make up shit." The way she emphasized and just drug out the word shit was so funny. And this shit was uncensored. Uncensored Housewives is, if you've never watched Real Housewives of Melbourne, watch that shit. Because that shit uncensored too with the accents is also a chef's kiss. But the fact that this was uncensored hit even harder. But they're all just like, "Whitney, you're full of fucking shit, you're lying." And they are now freaking out because she reached out to Monica. Public enemy number one. Heather lost it. "You reach out to our sworn enemy?" Meredith is, "You're disgusting." You know, Meredith gets on her Zan rages. They were spazzing. Spazzing. And Whitney was like, "I was desperate to prove that I was right because you guys are always fucking up to the most, doing the fucking most." So out of desperation, Whitney says that this is what she did. And Mary had to remind them that, hey, OGs, being Meredith, Heather, and Lisa, she's like, "You guys are not nice people. You're not, like, exactly warm, friendly people." She's like, "You make people feel like they have to be desperate." And they try to... Meredith was like, "Mary, are you talking about me?" And Mary was like, "Yes, you." And she was like, "I know because I was there." And is she lying? Because they shut... Meredith didn't even come back at her when Mary was like, "Yeah, you." Meredith was like, "Okay. Yeah." Just weak. Weak. So they're all just fucking screaming at the... Well, not all. Meredith and Whitney are really fucking screaming at each other. Lisa and Whitney are having at it, pointing fingers, just like... Just hateful. Just hateful. But Heather breaks all of this with a monologue, because, you know, Heather has become the monologue queen of Salt Lake City. She has clearly taken that on as her job and her duty. And she's not terrible at it, I must say. But she does this whole monologue. She checks all of the boxes, bringing up a line and a thread of all the drama that's happened. Bad moms, this, that, the third, infidelities, recording. She, like, literally brought a thread through the whole season, wrapped it up with a plot twist, and dropped that shit on the table and was like, we should take each other's phones, see the worst thing that we said about somebody at the table, and read them out loud. Take their phones and read them. That's not a game. That is straight up debauchery. And in this moment, and y'all know from watching my videos how I feel about Heather Gay, and not much has changed, but in this moment, I realize she is crucial to this franchise. We need her. I can't believe I'm saying that. We need Heather Gay. Because she knows how to turn these women, she knows how to monologue these women into fucking craziness. Because these women really do it. They pull up the worst messages they can find, and they have them read, the person who's getting offended, they have them read them out loud. Now, mind you, I noticed they were all screenshots, and I don't know if they took the time to find them and screenshot them so they couldn't scroll in their messages, because that's smart, or if this was like a pre-planned reality TV thing. But either way, it was iconic because we've never had something like this before. And we can thank Heather Gay for that. I say it all the time, I will always give credit where credit's due. I don't really like that woman, but she is the reason we have this moment. We need her. So, of course, everyone's freaking out when Heather drops this. They're all looking at each other like, oh my fucking god. And Mary, of course, starts it off because she is a real ass bitch. She does not care. And she could eat them all. And she starts with Heather. So Heather reads Mary's message, and Mary is reading her down. Read her to filth. I think read her accurately. Heather's crying almost immediately. But essentially Mary was like, she's gotten fame hungry, it's gone to her head, she's a different person, she's a mean girl, and she doesn't really know who she is anymore. And so Heather explains herself. Her response was like, alright. She explained that like this is like the better version of herself and she's more true to herself. And so she is different, but it's for good reasons, even though it may be coming off bad. AKA, Heather's going to take this information because she knows what the people want and what they're saying. And she's going to rebrand. Her and Mary are going to be friends now because she knows Mary is the people's fucking champ. So I'm calling it now. This is a Heather rebrand, and we're going to have very different energy and different alliances, probably, out of Heather in the upcoming seasons. Calling it now. Brittany then takes it upon herself to be next in this rotation and hands her phone to Mary. And apparently the worst thing that Brittany's ever said is that she's not going to invite Mary over for tea. Instead, she'll invite Bronwyn. Ho, bye. I'm not even going to spend another second talking about this because that shit was stupid. Clearly a pick-me moment. And just true to Brittany's fucking whole season. No. But Bronwyn moves on to Brittany and fucking clocks her in her shit. So I guess that's justice, swift justice, for weird-ass Brittany. Bronwyn is very harsh in her message, but low-key very right about what she said. So it is justifiable to me. Brittany, of course, is offended and is argumentative about it. And Bronwyn, you don't know her well enough to say this, but Bronwyn's like, you've been trauma dumping, sharing weird shit about yourself, and being completely messy since I've met you, so I have nothing really good to say about you. And she is judging what you give her, so I don't know why you're so fucking mad, broad. Like I said, Bronwyn's low-key right, so tough titties on that one, Britt. Wrong side of history. Then they move on to Angie and Bronwyn. And Angie, I keep trying to tell y'all, Angie's a thug. Like, that heart on your sleeve shit comes with a nasty side of the switch, too. Angie is a motherfucking thug. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. She reads Bronwyn down in her message. She said her husband had one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. And that she essentially sucked dick and wears hot dog costumes to remind us of it. Angie read her down. Angie was dying of embarrassment as Bronwyn read this message and was crying. But Bronwyn ate it. I'll give her that. She ate it like a champ. She ate it like a G. She was just like, this is how she feels. Okay. But Angie was apologetic. She was like, I didn't mean it. I was just mad. But I'm trying to tell y'all, stop testing Angie. Please stop doing it. Lisa gives her phone to Meredith. For some year-olds drama, and it was weak as fuck and some Lisa bullshit. She can never be the bad guy if it's by her own doing. She's always trying to make herself look good. I rolled my eyes, they rolled their eyes. We all know it's bullshit, but that was Lisa's contribution to this moment. She was going to fucking just say that Meredith is like a nasty person. And as Angie said, you called her a garbage whore. That fucked half of New York City. And you're telling me this is the worst thing you ever said about anybody, and you hate Whitney? Girl, boo, you get the Britney treatment. Bye, baby gorgeous. Also, randomly, I don't know why this just popped into my head, but Angie during the ceviche fucking class was calling her boobs chicharones because she thought chicharones was like boobs because it sounds like chichis or cha-chas, whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Stop messing with a thug who just says random shit. Like, she is a dangerous woman in the best way possible. Angie's one of the many gifts this season. If you couldn't tell how I felt. Heather then passes her phone to Whitney so she can read what she's saying, and Whitney is in tears reading what Heather feels and also gives a that's how she feels moment. But it was harsh. Heather showed her true colors in that moment for sure. But they say they're gonna like end it, they're gonna burn it, because this is all a digital burn book and they're gonna like kill it. That was Heather's spin on it. And they are locked in that they're gonna be better and never go back there again. So that means we have a bad weather era 2. Legitimately. We'll consider this era 2 over here this way. So we'll see how that pans out. Because like I said, I see Heather rebranding and shifting her allegiance very, very soon. Whitney then makes the very intentional mistake of handing her phone to Lisa. And the text that Whitney has Lisa read out loud is about her making out with somebody. Her making out with somebody while they're jerking off Lisa's husband. Whitney just wants to torture this woman. She made it her mission this whole season, and she did not stop once. She was successful as hell. So she makes Lisa read a text about her husband getting jerked off while making out with somebody and how they're like swingers essentially. Lisa ends up throwing Whitney's phone at her, calling her just a nasty, all this, calling her just names, calling her a liar. Lisa blacks out. She can't hear anything. She's like, "You're always coming for my marriage. John's the best man on earth. What are you doing?" The shit was comedy because Whitney knew what she was doing and even said she had worse texts, but like that's something she really wanted to let go, like the husband involvement. Whitney Rose, you are not low, and we love you for this moment. We love you for this moment. And somehow in all of this, Lisa looks at Angie and points at her and blames her. What? Like Lisa's so good, and I honestly believe she's so iconic in so many ways, but she is also fucking rocks for brain sometimes. She just blacks out and loses all brain function. She's like somebody who's literally blacked out on alcohol. She doesn't even know what she's doing. She's just fucking operating. It's insane. It's insane. And like I said before, this seems like the closest relationship to real hate that we have on this show, Whitney and Lisa. And Angie's husband catches a gay stray, as I called it, because Lisa's like, that's like, what if... She's like, I heard Sean circle jerks with people. Like, that's the same thing. And Angie is like, why would you say that? Which Angie's response to me is like, you know my husband's gay, stop saying he's gay. But at least it's like, Sean circle jerks with people because it's still Angie's fault somehow, and Angie loses it. She takes the flowers, she snatches them, she throws them at Lisa. She tries to throw something else at Lisa. She was trying to fuck her up low-key. Not that she was like doing anything overly aggressive, but producers are running to grab Angie. She's like, get the fuck off of me. Mary is grabbing her, telling her to stop. And Mary's like, I don't know why Lisa said that. Like, that is ridiculous. There's no reason she should have done that. But Angie's blacked out. She leaves the dinner. They roll her credits in her story. Lisa ends up leaving the dinner. They roll her credits in her story. Same with Meredith. They just can't take the heat. They're not about it. And it's not a good look. They walk away looking like big losers, honestly. They look like they're running away from something. And the women that stay at the table essentially are painting that narrative for them, that they can't handle the heat. And that's why they're leaving. Not exactly false. They're not wrong. Bronwyn is talking about how Lisa is repulsive and how she is a surface level narcissist. And she may not be wrong either. But the whole scene breaks down into utter chaos, almost fisticuffs, just madness. And that is how we bring one of the most perfect seasons of Housewives to an end. And the reunion better give. It better give. But I can't say it enough. This season of Housewives was top of the line, creme de la creme. It was the top girl on Bravo. And it will always be that. So I'm glad to have gotten through the season. I'm happy for the viewership on this. I hope people have enjoyed the commentary. It's not exactly over, but for now, that is it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you very soon for something else.